Oh my goodness. I had to get one last bite of granola bar and coffee before I started. By the way, here are the new mugs. I don't know. There's so much lag. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see. Let's bring this up. There we go. The new mugs are in. They have Artisan Construction LLC on one side and atdrafting.com on the other. And they should be in below the video. Also, cool shirts. If I can see. That's not working. I'm terrible at this kind of stuff. Anyway, it has the Artisan Construction logo on there. And they would make great Christmas presents. Yes, they would. But what I'm working on is this project. I was just doing a screenshot. That's the old. Oh man, there's so much to say. I wanted to design an urban style sort of a, I don't know, residential / commercial building for this project, but I oh man, there's such a long story. This project is here. It's just our GIS system, and it's this North Market Street in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's kind of an urban setting. Let's go to, do I have it set up here? 703 North Market. And I'll show you the street view of it. Now this is an old street view because there's been a lot more built since this was taken. You can see down here, this is my nemesis, Ethan Collier. What about that? This is what's weird about the street view. He has built these new buildings right here. They're kind of townhomes, modern townhomes. So if you back up to a certain, see, they're there. And I just saw them back here. If I click down here, and I go in, you see I can see the back of them right there. And he's now building them along here. What's funny is this guy's a young guy, and he's been successful. I hired him to frame my house about 10 years ago. This one, I called it the Funky Bungalow, and they went and painted it black. It's crazy. They went and painted it some dark color. These people messed it up. But anyway, this was I built this house maybe like 10 years ago. Maybe it was longer. Anyway, I hired Ethan to frame it. He was just framing back then. And I had been a general contractor for, I don't know, 20 years and already. And anyway, I don't know why I brought that up, to be honest with you. But I decided to stay small because I loved building custom homes, designing and building custom homes, just maybe one at a time. But he wanted to be a big wheel, okay? So he started, he had backing. He had some rich dude that backed him. And anyway, he's done great. I'm just kind of kidding around. People say he's my nemesis because of that, but it's just kind of an inside joke. Anyway, that's a long story that didn't need to be told. But some of my past projects have been, this is one of my last ones. I designed and built this house, I think in 2009. Trying to get it to where, and it's in North Chattanooga. It's relatively close to the same project, and this was my favorite house to live in, to design and build and to live in. It was on this crazy lot. This driveway is like 50 degrees. It's really steep, and but it was awesome. The new owner kind of frilled up the basement, but this was my office and shop down here. This was my office for artisan construction, and then this was my shop, and they turned it into some kind of living area with all these, I don't know, Christmas lights, kind of weird hipster stuff. But that just kind of gives you a flavor for. This was kind of a lesser degree of a. This was a sort of a modern attempt at a spec house, and it was okay. I mean, I designed and built this and moved into it, but I guess it's very difficult. You know, if you're not, my talents lie with building actual construction. Right, that's what I'm best at. I always wanted to be an architect. I actually worked in architecture for 7 to 8 years, about 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago, and worked for some really good architects in Chattanooga. Brian Clements, Stroud Watson, Brian Toon, Tom Bartu, Taylor Bowers, all those people, Gayla Strickland, all those people. You probably haven't heard of them, but they're really good architects and were an influence on me. And so I loved modern architecture. And what's really frustrating is, for me, is to see all these great designs for urban residential design and then not to be able to get to build them, because sometimes, you know, the people you build for don't want to, they're afraid to, they're just scared. They're more comfortable with the typical, you know, just the typical. And so I decided that if I was going to live in that world, I'd rather build things, you know, for the most part, than to sit in an office and work for some architect, because it was going to always be frustrating for me that I couldn't, you know what I mean? Anyway, it's hard to describe. It's a frustration. So now that I'm getting to, where am I? Now that I'm getting to, your model has been checked carefully. Well, that's good. That's weird. I think I've been getting that message because I have this extension called Placemaker that allows you to download terrain and map information. I've got it turned off. Let me turn it back on. This, which is the street, North Market Street. And the reason I do it is because it's pretty accurate on the terrain. You can see if you turn this, you can see it's pretty accurate, because I've used it for other projects. And this is accurate over here. These houses are up on this hill. It'll even kind of, you can have it you can have it guesstimate the buildings. So it did a really good job on this little house next door, just to kind of imply it. It's got all the shapes and the roof and everything. It's kind of cool. And then sometimes it just kind of, you know, this is like a veterinarian building or whatever. And sometimes it doesn't quite hit the mark. But what it does do is give you a feel for the scale, you know, and how things are laid out. And again, like I said, the main reason I like it is because of the grade, because it helps you. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they're designing a building is not to consider the actual site. I don't know if I've got any. Check and see if I've got any comments. I need to get rid of some of these windows here. I just wanted to kind of give you a feel for what I've done. Here's another house that I built that was designed by Tom Bartu. And I took this project specifically because of the architect and the owner had money and was no object. And this house cost about $750,000 to build. It has this slate siding on the outside, and actual standing seam metal roof, all kinds of great materials. It had timber, post and beam structure involved internally, and it was just an awesome house. We used SIPs on the roof, which was another awesome thing. So, and it had this. This is another sort of North Chattanooga. You can see it's not, the neighborhoods in North Chattanooga aren't that great. They're kind of eclectic, but you can get these particular lots with these mountainy feels to them. And this is up on a little ridge called Stringer's Ridge. And if you go up this road, you can get to where you're overlooking all these houses on this. If I can get between a house, they're overlooking the city of Chattanooga. I don't even think I can get to a point to where maybe I can, maybe right here. Yeah. You can't really see. You have to get to their backyards, but the Tennessee River's down there, and downtown Chattanooga's down there. Well, I can do this and show you. Yeah. See. Yeah, here's the river. Here's downtown Chattanooga. Beautiful city. I love our rivers and our streams, our urban, rural, residential areas, and moving out to more rural areas. And like I live way out here in the woods, way up here in the mountains and the woods, and so I know, back to the project, right? So this is the veterinarian building. I know the contractor that built this, Stein Construction. And this is an old house. This is typical of the house you see in North Chattanooga. And so, and these are the new townhomes that he built. I wish I could get to the front of them, but the closer you get, they will disappear on street view. See? Oh, wait. Now, you see what I mean? They disappear. I guess the street view guy took the right turn here. He took a right turn. Yeah, right here somewhere. Or he quit filming. But anyway, then it's got this ditch that runs through it. And one nice thing that Ethan Collier did, was that he put a tile, culvert, and covered all this up. I don't think he went to his property, which ends about right here. So we have to deal with that a little bit. I've got to go check that out, actually. But you see, I think the city maybe made him do it all the way. So that's going to be good for us, I think. I think he had to do it. I don't know. It may still be back there. But all this to say, planning is everything. Okay? Planning. And so, okay, you checked it again. So what we try to do is get our grade, get accurate information on the grade. You can see I drew this by looking at the site. I got out and stood here and looked at the site. So I drew this grade. So I got it pretty close. But having this confirms it and makes me feel better. But now, once I get ready to build this thing, I'll have my surveyor give me actual grade information, which has saved me many times. But I've gone through several renditions of this building, and this is just kind of, if we go to, I think I lost my floor plan views, but if I turn, here we go. Here they are. I had to turn the orientation of the building. So this is the current setup, where you'll have a sort of a basement that'll have a room. We haven't decided whether it'll be a bedroom and a bathroom, which means I'll have to put an egress window. I'm trying to figure out where the sewer is going now, whether it goes to the street or to the back. That'll be a factor, because this level would be below the street, and we would have to pump it up to the sewer, which is, I can do it. It's just not desirable. Then you've got the main floor here. This is set up like a townhome, basically a mirror image. In that, the idea is that at some point in the future, he could come and subdivide the property. On a townhome, you actually have a property line that runs between the two structures, and that's why you have these two walls. These are 1 hour walls, 1 hour rated walls that protect each occupant from the other fire wise. And so they're set up kind of like a duplex. I think initially he would rent this because the rental market's pretty good right now in Chattanooga, and so it's set up, but I'm setting it up as a townhome so that he could, you have possibilities in the future. And it doesn't cost that much more to do it this way. So you'd have a living area here. Try to make this as open as this would look. This would look more open than it than it does on the plan. This stair is really more kind of open. It looks like it takes up, but in three-dimensional space, this is pretty open through here. So we wanted to have an open plan as much as possible and still have this little potty room. And then you'd go up the stairs to the bedroom areas. There's some kind of debate. I don't know. The guy I'm building this for is he's a very talented, wealthy real estate. He has a real estate company, but I also build maybe a house a year for him, and he seems to think that he doesn't want these two bedrooms on the same level for this. I'm still trying to figure this out. He's the market expert. He seems to think that the bedroom needs to go down here. The second bedroom would go down here. This would be like the main bed, and then this would be like some kind of office, but we're not calling it a bedroom. I don't know. That's weird to me, but I still haven't figured out the philosophy behind that. But what I've done is I've set it up for someone with a different philosophy in the future, that it's big enough for a bedroom, and it has a closet, so you could sell it as a 3-bedroom, and 3-bedroom / ×2 duplex. So that's the plan. And what I do is I go and I'll put that. I set my plans up as components, so I can work on them easily here. But then I'll copy them over to here, and not sure why it's turned off. There we go. And I'll put them on top of the floors, and then so that way I can draw my walls over the top of them. If I get rid of the walls for a second, you can see I like to do it like this, and that way I don't have to keep going back and forth. And also, when I set up the views for the floor plans, I don't have to worry about all this stuff being turned off. I can just my floor plan view will be based on that other plan, and I don't have to worry about clicking turning off a bunch of layers and setting up a bunch of views just to have a floor plan. So what I've done here is trying to give it some kind of feel. I like to have these floor plates showing when I'm doing this. It kind of gives me an idea of where windows can go and the heights of them. And so I'm thinking about doing I think I'm just going to go ahead. He wants a gable roof, which I wanted to raise. I wanted to run this up and make this truly modern. I wanted to run these up, have parapet walls all around, and then have a big old single slope roof in there. But he wants a gable, and this is what I'm talking about. On some of this stuff, it's frustrating because I want stuff sometimes, and I don't get it. And what I'm looking for is like a rich girlfriend who wants to develop real estate, and so she can be the fancy person and pay for everything, And let's try 512. And I can just build stuff. You know, I can design and build stuff. Let's leave that there. I was gonna when I do my roofs. Excuse me. I like to kind of draw a rafter, right? And so that the roof looks, even if it's in schematic mode, the roof looks real. You know, it's always nice when stuff looks real. Most architects don't worry about that kind of thing. That's mundane. That's mundane stuff right there. The other thing I meant to do is to keep this in a group. So now I've got to go back and select all these little. Well, let me delete this. I don't need this. I don't need that or that. So all I got to do is select these 3 lines. What I did was I set the rafter up so that, you know, it would have a bird's mouth later. Right now I'm just working in schematic mode, so I don't need all that for now. And when I do a roof, I'll come back and do my Medique, either rafters or trusses. But for now, if I'm in schematic mode, I like to just keep it simple. That's the center. Let's go in here and edit this, and we will cut that off, and then we will draw it. I don't know what I had to redo my buttons up here, and I'm mad because I can't remember exactly how I had them. So now I know that they're not exactly right because I keep doing this. I'm like, oh, wait. So it's kind of funny. 24. And then we'll flip that around. Let's see if I get an idea of, I don't know. That's kind of flat, but to me, if you're going to do a gable, you know, do one, either that or do a flat roof. I don't know. I go back and forth. I know because a lot of the mid-century modern homes had pretty low-pitched gable roofs, like, you know, 312, whatever. And let's go here. Go -1 to get that. I don't know. Ever since I put that terrain in here, SketchUp's been acting like it has to correct something. It's getting annoying. So I'm going to just roughly look at this and say, we'll see. But what I have to do now is I need to find, what was this? Was this 10 feet? 10'8". I don't remember that being 10'8". What happened there? 10'8". Well, I guess it's I guess that's right. It's thirds. So this will be 5'4". And so what we'll do, we'll copy this front, and we will mirror it. Well, before we do that, we'll put one over here, 5'4". Let's see. How am I going to do this? I'm going to make this a group until I get it situated right. Let's see. Where's my green axis? There we go. I was almost there. So that it goes there, but it goes back here against that. See, I'm trying to let's see, do I copy that? I need to copy this back here. Yeah, now I can explode this one. Explode, and I can get rid of this part and that thing and that thing. Now we can bring up this little thing. There we go. I'm trying to decide whether 2 feet, maybe a little too big of an overhang on this particular. I like 2 feet because it helps protect your siding and windows. Oh, it's a nice big overhang, but sometimes it gets a bit, either that or this. Well, I might try 16 inches if it bugs me enough. And then this one needs to be turned around. Move. Easiest way to do this might be to just go. What plane was I on? It's on that one. Just go to here and then move it over 24 inches. And that's not right because the ridges are not lining up. Oh, how frustrating. How frustrating. How did I not get that in the middle? Yeah, that's correct, Bob. Just not hanging over 24 inches. Yes, it is. So what's up with that? What's up with that? That's weird. I think this would be a good time to change it to 16. Since that, I know, you know what I did? I made it 24 inches at an angle. You see, and 24 inches at an angle is not the same thing as 24 inches horizontally. But right now would be a good time to change it to 16 because I think that 24 may look too rural for this project, even though I like, I don't know, I'll have to think about it. I might change my mind on that. We're going to see how it looks. This is why I do this in schematic mode, though, so I can get a feel. Then when I go back and do the real thing, the real virtual thing, I can now let's get rid of this. We're gonna start fresh and do it right this time. That's 5 feet 4. So we're going to copy that, pull it over here, make a group, copy, Roger, $16. All right, now see, it's in the middle. That's what I should have done before. Now, did I make a copy? I keep a copy? Yeah. So now I can explode this. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. That. I think 16 is going to look better. And what's bothering me about the 24 are these little gables. Yeah, it's not as bad. It's not as rural looking on the gables. It's still not modern enough for me. I really wish he would let me, after he sees it. And one thing about Mitch is he will let me debate him with his money, and which is why I do projects for him. I'm very picky about who I do projects for. I don't just build for anybody, because if somebody's not willing to, especially use good materials, I just won't work. I won't build for them. But Mitch has never had a problem with that. He'll let me use whatever, like say ePay or Kumaru for porch floors, or he doesn't ask me to use vinyl siding, stuff like that. 16. I know what some of you are saying. Oh, that's snooty. It's not snooty. It's 42 years of experience building stuff, knowing what will last and what won't. And if it's going to have my name on it, when I'm a goner, I want my stuff to be still around. Now, one thing I just realized is that this will pop out 16 inches too. Like that. Let's get rid of that little thing there, because in real life, after that's painted, you won't see that line there. Yeah, I know. Let's see if we have any comments. No comments. Y'all are boring today. I guess it's Friday. I usually do these on Saturdays or Sundays, but it's raining outside today, and we couldn't frame, and don't know why that's doing that. I was going to change this overhang. Let's see if I knew that was going to happen. Hit the wrong thing. Now let's move it out 16. Let's get rid of this little line, and we'll bring it out to 16. Yeah. Now let's draw our wall on up. Which we should just be able to put a point right here and then pull that up, get where I can see it up there. That ain't working. What's going on there? Let's put this roof in. Let's first of all get rid of some of these section guides. Good Lord. Or guidelines. Let's take this, and we need to start developing our layers here, our tags. SketchUp decided they wanted to call them tags when really in the CAD world, they're layers. Roof. Let's see, do we have a schematic roof layer? Not yet. So we want to do roof. I'm just going to scheme. And this way I can separate I can keep my schematic roof later and just turn it off. Use it as a reference. So now I'm going to turn it off and, oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. I'm just going to have to draw a line. I'm just going to have to draw a reference line up to that. Going to draw me a segment down. Oops. What's going on under here? What is going on under here? Oh. Somehow we lost our... We lost our roof under there. We'll have to fix that later. I don't necessarily need it right now. I'm trying to get this front wall to be filled in so I can put windows and doors in it and start to get a feel. Let's just turn this roof off. I really didn't mean to draw that. Oh, I didn't. Yeah. That's one thing I did make this a little more complicated than it should have been with this. In reality, what will happen is these are actually moved up a little bit. This is where I overcomplicated this a little bit. If I can get this to close here. Yeah, except for over here, it didn't close. Oh, minutia. Minutia's getting me. Minutia's getting me. Not sure why. There we go. Some simple little thing should have been that simple. And alright, so now we can go to this again. Should be 5 feet 4. And my buttons are not where I'm used to them being. Let's see if that'll work. Go back to there. There we go. So the question is, what we can do is things blah blah blah. Let's see what happens if we put us a little porch down here. That why is that sticking out farther? Why is the foundation sticking out? So not sticking out that far. It's supposed to be right there. So let's do this a little thing here. Well, our porch won't be that deep. The porch is only going to be like 11 by 10 feet 8, and then it would come out, say 6 feet. But that's the question. That is the question. Because I have steps coming down. What I'm thinking about doing is doing a roof up here. I don't know if I can mix modern elements in with this. What I need is I was actually going to advertise for this. If anybody out there is like an intern, architect intern, or a student who's really good at urban residential design, or just really any kind of I'm willing to pay to get help on this kind of stuff, because it's a lot of pressure. You don't understand how much pressure it is to try to come up with a design for these things, and they're right downtown. The houses I build are going to be there hopefully for 100, 200 years, and so it's frustrating when I can't satisfy my own self. That's what people don't understand, is that you can't. Creative people don't just pull things out of the rear end, and sometimes you get blocked, or you just can't. You can never get satisfied with what you do, and it's frustrating. So what I would do is I would have like this one. It wouldn't be this thick. First of all, it would be about 3 inches less thick, and three inches less here. That would be like a 1x8 fascia board. Let's see what I got. Yeah, it's a little bit, that would go back about a ½ inch. And then we would just slope the roof enough. Let's see, on 6 feet, we could just go up 6 inches. Really, not even that much, but just make it almost appear flat. And for some reason, I got it off whack. I moved it accidentally. When I worked at Toon Design Architecture, there was a young architect intern. She hadn't even gotten her architecture license yet. She was a young Filipino, just lovely. I loved her to death. If I hadn't been married at the time, she would have been my wife, whether she liked it or not. And she was a great designer. She moved to, I think, Portland or Seattle. And oops. And she would have been great with this kind of stuff. And I miss her. Chet, you need to come back now. My wife ditched me, so now we can get married and we can do all the stuff we wanted to do when you were here. That's terrible, isn't it? But see, I was faithful to my wife, and I wouldn't even have thought of it. And then she ditched me and took all my money. Typical story. I don't know, man. These are going to have to hang over a little bit, I think. It's gonna look, maybe it'll look better if they wrap around a little bit. Even if it's 6 inches or something. Take that line and move it out. Yeah, give them a little bit, give that roof a little bit of depth. But it would need to come out far enough to have a decent stair coming down here. Yeah, it needs to come out maybe another. Might not even look bad if that cantilever's a little bit like that. Maybe this comes out 6. And then whatever width of the stair, and then this comes out another 6. That would be a weird shape of a roof right there, wouldn't it? So I'm not sure. Yeah, the other option is just to do a little gable, which I didn't want to do because nobody have no. Did I make this thing private or something? Nobody's making comments, man. So we would have a little kind of little, maybe a little steel beam going across there. Oops. These need to be together. So I can connect that line there. Then you could put a little steel handrail there. Let's draw us a stair box. This is the way I like to start off with my stairs. So that would be 7.5 by, what was that? I almost got it. I was just guessing. Yeah, this would come around here. I'll go ahead and make it come out to here. That would be kind of, that might be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm losing my idea of what cool is. No, that needs to go back. This is a quick and easy way to draw stairs. I'll show you. Go down here. That'll be the sidewalk one. And then what you do is you take these and make a group out of all of these. And then go in and explode those. And then you draw your little line from there to, okay, SketchUp, there to there, and then from here to here, and then you come down and you delete all these, and voila, you have a stair. And then later, once again, these are quick stairs to show, configuration or whatever, and then once they are decided, I go back in and I'll put the nose on them. Come down one inch. Bring it out an inch. One, like that. Then I take this, go back, come out an inch. One, and so on. So I don't put the treads on them until, because he's not going to say, no, I don't want the steps there. So that's what you have to deal with. You have to kind of think, you have to kind of predict what people are going to say and work around it. And this would be my little sidewalk piece. It comes over like that. Might look better just to I really like to be excited about the form of a building before I start if the windows and doors make it, it's kind of disappointing to me. I really like for the overall scale and form to get me excited. And I think that what might help is, unfortunately, might be to make the roof a little steeper. What can I make it? because what you do have in North Chattanooga, I made it a 5. At least it's not a 412, which is the most overdone roof pitch in the world. Let's get rid of these guidelines. So if it was just straight up, if you got rid of the floor scheme and the floor plans, you know, how does that grab you? It's got kind of a churchy feel to it, which is not good. I don't know. I wonder if I need to do it, just have this porch be a gable. I mean, I'm trying to introduce modern features into a sort of non-urban design. I don't know. This is, again, I'd rather this just be, I forgot exactly what I had. Let's see, I had or what did I do? Here it is, 703 North Market Street. Brick, new. What is this? Let me see what this one is. Okay, so this one, I never really finished this. Well, yeah, what I was going to do was bring these walls up. You'll have a parapet like that. And but what I'd like to do, what I would have liked to have done, this is not the actual one, I don't think. This is the one I did before I did put the brick on it. Oh, here's one I did. He thought this one, I didn't see. This is what you don't do. You don't spend time doing the whole design until you get them happy with the general look. So he thought this was maybe too residential, and I'm not sure. This may have been, yeah, this was a house. That's what it was. And he didn't want to do. This is a kind of a period in Chattanooga where the rental market's going to be doing, especially with interest rates going up. And these people who invest in real estate start to think more about, obviously investment. So that was kind of a house I did for it. And then hopefully this is where we are. So this would be, I guess what would make me happy is if I could get some windows and a door. But I think I'm gonna have to put a gable roof over here, over this. The only thing I'm not gonna like about a gable is it's gonna have this little saddle right here where we'll have to put a little cricket to get the water out of there. Let's put a few windows in. So normally what I do when I do that is I'll take and turn the walls off and turn the floor plans back on. And then I'll put some reference marks here for the center, not center. And I'll turn the walls back on. So that's the floor line. So that means we'll be coming up about 7 feet from there. Now, one thing I can do, and I will at some point. I'll go and do my Medique, walls. So here, I would go replace these schematic walls. But if I do one now, I can. That's a little tiny wall, a little short wall. I can put windows in it and then copy the windows. But the siding would probably be more like, I don't need to worry about siding on this. That stucco color makes me ill, so I change it so I don't have to look at it. Yeah, so then what I would do is I would put, go to wall, window, and put a 32 by 54 window in there, and then what I would do is copy that window out of there. Because that is faster than me obviously trying to get rid of this framing. See, my buttons are not in the right place. I keep grabbing the paint bucket for the orbit tool. So now I can go in here and grab this, cut it out, and bring it over here. I can turn it 90 degrees, and I can't. Is that a component? Nope. I don't want it to be a component right at the moment. What I do want it to be is a double. See, this is one thing. I don't know. It might look better. I'm going to do one side with double windows and the other side with non-doubles. Then I can explode them, and then I can get rid of these. To make them look like one window, or two windows kind of mold together. Not really mold, but this is what I like to do when I frame these windows like this. I'll put two 2x4s in between on the rough opening, and that'll give me it gives you just enough room to put a 1x4 right down the middle like that between the two windows. It's kind of cool. Then I can take this over here and I'm going to move it down. And let me get my second floor thing. So I need to come up, go up 7 feet. You can tell which your axes. That's horizontal, north and south or whatever. And then turn this back on. Then I can copy this. Turn that floor plane off. Then I can copy this that. Then I can go do, that's looking better. Still, see that's just your typical residential style, configuration. If I wanted to make it modern, I would do away with some of the symmetry and go to one window, and maybe have one over here, there, and one down here on the bottom, something like that. And this is why I could go back to my deck wall and put a door in, and I can steal that door. 36 to 80. Don't matter about the header. It needs to be a full glass update. Is that going to be right? Yeah. And then I'll just mirror it. I wish you would not make the framing part of that door when you select it. I always have to go in and delete it out. Right there, right there. Back over here. Put ourselves there's that paint. For some reason I'm gonna change those around because I keep grabbing I think I had it like that. I keep grabbing the paint bucket tool for the orbit tool. I don't know how I got my buttons mixed up. But I did, and I had to redo them because I don't like the full menu sets of is that on that? Let's make sure this is on the at the bottom of the wall, and then I'll move it over. And why is that? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to create an interference with that'll be something I can show you. On the windows I don't have to do this, but on the doors, back out, inside the roof, roof warning. Then I can copy. I think I need to I may have to turn this off. Let's see if I turn that PM stuff off, that terrain stuff off, placemaker stuff. See if it'll stop giving me that message. Ever since I've installed that terrain data, I've been getting that message from SketchUp that it's fixing something. So if I grab this and this, and I think what I want to do though is I want to move them out, because if I only want to create an interference where okay, let's get right here with Jesus. Grab that and that. I only want to create an interference where the jams are. So if I go back here now, Yeah. God, I hate that whenever I get stuck in a roof. Alright, so now if I take this and these two, and I create intersect faces with model, and I put these in a door layer and turn them off for a second. Do that right here, wall, door. You can see one of the reasons I don't do the Medic thing yet is because it creates all these layers, but it just came in handy, so I'm not complaining. I never complain about Medic extensions because they're so handy. Oh, the other thing is I have to come and put those layers. I have to come and put all that stuff, grab it, and move it to my wall folder. Yeah, wall folder right there. So that, there we go. Wall door. Turn that off. And why is that not in wall door? Why is that? All of that should be in wall. That should be in untagged. All the stuff in your group should be in untagged, so that when you assign your group to a layer, it all turns off. Otherwise it won't. And for some reason, oh baby, baby. Jesus. Let's turn this off. We're going to delete this one. And aren't we special? It didn't want to. What did I just delete behind that? Sometimes you got to be careful what you delete. I feel like that's what it is. I feel like that it's not all, didn't all get in the group for some reason. So I'm going to move this out here and fix this. I'm going to move this out. And why are you doing that? See what I mean about grabbing stuff? I'm not a construction worker today, so don't start cussing. I'm a draftsman today, so I'm not going to cuss. For some reason, I keep selecting a line. See that stringy thing that's attached to it? And I don't know what happened, how that happened. So let's turn off everything. Let's turn off foundation, floor, site, and try to understand what I'm grabbing. How is it that I'm grabbing that? I'm looking at 30 feet, and I'm going to delete your butt. everything in here should be exploded. Because it needs to be untagged, and then this group needs to be in the layer that you want it to be in. And so when you turn that off, I don't understand why it's doing this, and it says it's untagged. It literally says untagged right there, but it's not turning off. Amazing. Just amazing. That should be, if that's in untagged, it should not be. Alright, so that's freaking me out. That's something that shouldn't be happening. But we're going to move on because I don't want to go nuts. So you see 5 feet. For some reason, it's like a ghost. Can I even move it? Yep. Let's cut it here and paste it in place. Then move it back 5 feet. Boy, I tell you. Now I bet you it goes off. How much you want to bet? There we go. Now let's move it back. Let's move it back 25 feet. All I was trying to do is create an interference. I could have drawn a freaking hole in the wall quicker than that, but it was bugging me. That normally what I do is I'll put a bunch of doors and windows in, and then I'll select them. We'll just see. I don't think it's going to hurt at this point. I don't think it's going to hurt to just go ahead and try doing it this way, since I've put so much effort into it. Should be able to grab that, this, and that, and intersect faces with model, and then I should be able to go into this and wonder why it didn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on for today. There's something weird about these doors, and I'm just going to pull them out to where you can see that the door is actually there. Maybe 1 more inch. Really? This is what I should have done in the first place. Just to get past this crazy issue. I've got a tickle in my throat. There. This calls for a sip of coffee, excuse me. Oh God, it's cold. Oh, how long have I been sitting here? Alright, so let's turn back on some stuff to give us a feel. Wow. Having an allergic reaction to my work. And then these would just be, it's going to make us a what happened to we must have done it in that layer. Oh look, we can copy this one. So if we have any comments? No comments? God. I keep forgetting this is Friday. People are probably, I don't know, drinking beer or something. I don't know. What are y'all doing out there? You're not commenting. Usually somebody's in here giving me a hard time. But I miss it, man. I miss the interaction, even if you are giving me a hard time. Let's cut this out. Cut that out. Just cut it out. And we'll paste it back in place. And then we'll... Have you ever had one of those tickles in your throat? And it's almost like you feel like you're allergic to something. I'm gonna have to do this. Cover your ears. Cover your ears. I started watering. It's probably your radiation from the monitor. Let's turn our floor plan on. Let's see, floor. And I'll get the center of the window. And let's see, this is a roof. Oh, I see, it's the roof pitch. Can I get it without, is that right? Yeah. Now this is interesting. This is why you should study this stuff before you, because I'm not sure I like, let's see, is that against the wall? No, it was an optical illusion. Oh, it was against the wall. It was an optical illusion. It's a double optical illusion. I probably have it up too high. Yeah, I have it up too high. For a minute, I didn't like the way it was going to be interacting with that roof. Should be at this height. And then that'll have a gutter. That'll have a little gutter on it to keep it from running water off. I still don't like it. Onto that window. So, I mean, it looks a little better with the windows and doors, but I really like it to look awesome without the windows and doors. And I'll go ahead and cut the walls out. I'll go ahead and cut all that out later if he likes it. Because you see, spending time doing all that is kind of futile if it's not going to work out. So probably what would happen is we would have a difference of materials. Maybe this is one option. You can go in and is that going to hit right about there? Too fast. Would that be the same? Yeah, that would be the same. Let's see. That's not correct. That would be. Might as well just draw it just for the sake of this, because it's not going to be exactly there. So we'll just show it there. Oops, that didn't work. Oh, yeah, I know why it didn't work. We need to draw it from wall to wall. Let's turn off the roof for a second. It's that lighter line you can see. And then we might have different materials up there. Another way to look at that. I would want to get some help, especially on these sides, because that's a huge expanse. You're going to be seeing this. Really, that's what you're going to be seeing more of when you're driving down the road. You're going to be looking at that from way back here, looking at it, and all of a sudden you're going to say, "Oh, well, there's the front of the building," and you're going to keep going. Unless you're walking down the street. So these sides really need to have a lot of it, and there's not a lot of windows on them. There's only like 2 windows per floor. Your model has been checked carefully, and all problems have been fixed. I'm going to search this because I think it has to do with C face, C loop 24, C face. Well, I might take a break to eat lunch. Since y'all are boring, you're not talking, you're not sharing yourself with me, then I'll probably stop here. But honestly, I would love to have someone to bounce ideas off of, like an architecture student or an intern. I'm not going to be able to afford to pay, some full-blown architect. But someone who's involved spiritually into architecture. I have taken architecture courses, but I think it's something that to be what I would consider a full-fledged, full-blown architect, you have to almost be born with it. Like me, I just want to build it. I get frustrated and I get impatient, and I accept the mundane just so I can go out and start pouring concrete. That's just how I am. And then I'm, so I'm not real. I mean, that's an exaggeration, obviously, but because I think I've done pretty decent on my other projects. But I really would love. I remember when Chet Fortaleza, when she was in town, we were a team at Toon Design. Can't remember how to spell her last name. Yeah, Seattle, Washington. My little Chet, my lovely Chet, great architect. What's all this stuff? Yeah, that's why I don't go on LinkedIn. Leave me alone. Great architect. Love her to death. Love her to death. I wish she was here. She would whip this thing out. I think what I need to do. I think the key to this is getting rid of the double windows stacked and coming up with a scheme for these towers, and coming up with a great if we turn on our floor bands, our floor scheme, coming up with a way to deal with these two-story walls in a way that's very interesting, mixing it up. The thing about it is, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Like, if I came up with a cool configuration, but it was just a simple configuration where part of it was lat, part of it was vertical. My siding guy is not going to complain. He actually likes seeing different. Believe it or not, siding guys and carpenter, everybody, roofers, they get tired of doing the same old thing over and over. And so, one thing that people like when they come to work with us on our projects is they think we're going to do something cool, and I hate to let them down, because they love taking pictures of they love advertising cool pictures for their own small companies, and so I need to come up with something awesome on this. And of course, we're probably going to start this after the first of the year, probably February, something like that. But I got to get this worked out. It's November. It's going to be December before you know it. And, I got to get permits and all that kind of stuff. So in the next month, I got to figure this out. So if there are any architecture students out there, or interns who are already graduated, or even young architects who aren't charging $100 an hour, get in touch with me at ArtisanTony.com or atdrafting.com. There's a little that'd probably be the easiest thing to do, is to go to atdrafting.com, and you could either contact me or you can go to this form right here, request for service, and say, hey, I'm the guy you were talking about, and just click send. I thought I had contact. Supposed to have a contact page. Contact me here. Yeah, okay, I've got it forwarding to this. Okay, so anyway, if you're interested in that kind of thing, like working on a regular basis, not just on one project, what I'd like to be able to do is to have somebody that I can, and I would pay for this out of my pocket if the owner didn't want to pay for it, just so we'd have a good project. Because I'm more concerned about that, and I would just take it out of my profit for the construction side of it. So anyway, there's an advertisement for some architect intern or student. The reason I say student is because when I worked at Toon Design Architecture, we had some architecture students who would come in the summer and do intern work, and they were awesome. The University of Tennessee has a great program. Auburn has a great program. Georgia, Georgia, University of Georgia, I think, has a design school, architecture school. I don't, and of course Georgia Tech is more of a techie thing, but all those, any kind of, you know, like I said, because usually it's you're born with the talent. You just have to learn the history and philosophy. Because honestly, that's what architecture is for the most part. It's more about philosophy and architecture. I mean, and history than it is, uh, because you need to be ingrained into the culture. The culture needs to be ingrained into you before you can kind of take on that persona. And it's certainly not about just drawing plans. That's what I do. I'm a draftsman. Okay, that's what I do. Architect is a different thing. So, uh, but I get by with a little help from my friends. I can get by. So we'll end it there. Did anybody leave any comments? No, you bums. We will see you next time. And thanks for watching if you watched on the tail end. Thanks.